Good day everyone, we are the discussants of the material What is the Point of Museums by the School Life. First and foremost, let us discuss the definition of a museum according to Encyclopedia Britannica. In its Greek form museum, it means seat of the muses and designated a philosophical institution or a place of contemplation. Use of the Latin derivation museum, it appears to have been restricted in Roman times mainly to places of philosophical discussion. And on these modern times, this has been an institution dedicated to preserving and interpreting the primarily tangible evidence of humankind and the environment.
Other than that, museums have been founded for a variety of purposes to serve as recreational facilities, scholarly venues, or educational resources to contribute to the quality of life of the areas where they are situated, to attract tourism to a region, to promote civic pride or nationalistic endeavor, even to transmit overtly ideological concepts.
Certain museums provide for a specialist audience, for example, children, societies, universities, or schools. Some have particular responsibilities for a defined geographic area, such as a city or a region. General museums hold collections in more than one subject and are therefore sometimes known as multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary museums. Museums of natural history and natural science are concerned with the natural world. Their collections may contain specimens of birds, mammals, insects, plants, rocks, minerals, and fossils. Museums of science and technology are concerned with the development and application of scientific ideas and instrumentation. The term history museum is often used for a wide variety of museums where collections are massed and in most cases are presented to give a chronological perspective. Art museums, or often called art gallery, is concerned primarily with the object as a means of unaided communication with its visitors. A virtual museum is a collection of digitally recorded images, sound files, text documents, and other data of historical, scientific, or cultural interest that are accessed through electronic media. Yet, despite such diversity, they are bound by a common goal: the preservation and interpretation of some material aspect of society's cultural consciousness. Part 1. Museum for Art's Sake. Museums are considered as a new cathedrals because of its essence and importance. That's why they say that going to a museum is a must if you are going on a foreign trip to another city. Nevertheless, of its importance, the art in some of them is often seen as the least interesting about them. The museums doesn't get the same energy in how people got attracted to visit cathedrals. Museum plays a crucial role in our society's culture. It serves as our memory lane of the past, a community center, a place for artistic enthusiasm, a shop, somewhere solemn now God is dead, and works of architecture in themselves. Art should exist for art's sake. It was meant to release culture from these three tainted forces: the religion, politics, and commerce. Just because culture should stand alone and not to be dependent from an end and goal. In leaving the Atocha Station, a novel by Ben Lerner, an American PhD student, visits Madrid's Prado Museum. In one of the quieter rooms, he spots a fellow visitor who moves slowly and looks intently at a range of key works, including Roger van der Weyden's Descent from the Cross. He bursts into tears and cries openly at the sorrow and beauty on display, at the contrast between the difficulties of his own life and the spirit of dignity and nobility of the works on the wall. The great works of culture are created to redeem, console, and save the souls of their audiences. They are made to change other lives. In truth, art really can do for us a remarkable number of the very things that religion once did. Culture truly is in a position to replace many of the functions of Scripture. Art too has the power to console us. It too can bring meaning and purpose. It too can increase our powers of empathy and generate a sense of community. Part 2. Museum as a gift shop. Let's consider gift shops. Barbara Hepworth's two figures and Pelagos were on display at the Tate Gallery in London. The mid-20th century British sculptor was accorded a show for greatest works by the Tate. The gift shop is quite simply the most important tool for the diffusion of art in the modern world. Its job is to ensure that the lessons of the museum, which concern beauty, meaning, and the enlargement of the spirit, can endure the visitor far beyond the actual tour of the premises. This speaks to the core of what museums should be about, providing us with tools to broaden the scope and effect of what we enjoy in works of art throughout our lives. This is why, if only its full potential could be realized, the gift store would be the most significant part of the museum. Part 3. In Architecture. Let's consider architecture. Even very secular people tend to admit that when it comes to architecture, religions have done some very beautiful things. You can be left utterly cold by all those superstitious aspects of religions and yet still be in awe at the profundity, intricacy, and sheer prettiness of many mosques, temples, cathedrals, and churches. We still need contemporary structures that evoke sentiments of awe, thankfulness, wonder, mystery, and stillness in the same way that ancient temples and cathedrals did. Religious architecture's core goal should be revived and continued in secular societies, to situate us for a while in a thoughtfully structured, three-dimensional space in order to educate and rebalance our inner selves. Architecture can perform a critical function by adjusting our impressions of our physical, and as a consequence also our psychological, size by playing with dimensions, materials, sounds, and sources of illumination.